Hi everyone, how are you doing? Hello my fellow yummy mummies and cherub cheeked tummies. Cherub cheeked tummies? I suppose you would be cherub cheeked if you had a tummy. Anyways, how are you doing today? It's a horrible day. We've got, Storm Callum going around at the moment. Wet, windy, very much into my hibernation mode today. And obviously from previous videos you must have realised that my mum passed away last year from vascular dementia. I wanted to talk about my dad and his stroke, which, very hard subject, very hard to cover, but this is what my channel is about. It's about real life issues, things that affect people. And I hope that some of my videos, I really hope, I think they have helped some people that are going through similar. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, someone having a stroke. But obviously I wanted to talk about this because it is very, very important to me, and my dad is very dear to me. So roughly about 3 years ago, 2015, my dad was overdoing it. He had very high blood pressure. He was taking blood pressure pills to calm it down, to lower it. And he was just basically doing too much, far too much. So he was trying to hold down a full-time job, dealing with renovating the house, which was a job in itself, looking after my late grandma. Oh, actually no, that was about a couple of years ago, but she was up in Reading, so he was going up there, which was hard. Trying to deal with my mum being in a care home with vascular dementia, doing PA shows, so doing the speakers for shows all over the place. And the day before he had his stroke, I actually asked him when he's going to slow down, because he was 67 at the time. I said, when are you going to retire, Dad? And he said, never. And he said he had a bit of a tummy upset, but I just thought, well, he seems okay, because obviously I was living with him at the time. And anyway, we've got a very loud fan in the bathroom, and it was really, really loud. It's really loud when you put it on. Dad's engineering for you, bless him. So he decided at some crazy time in the morning, because he was crazy, to have a shower. And I was sat in bed and I could hear the fan going for about an hour. And I thought, this is a bit strange. So I knocked on the door and I said, Daddy, you all right? And I could hear this like laboured breathing. And I thought, this isn't right. And he didn't answer, so I asked again. No answer. By the time I was getting a little bit worried. I was on my own. Partner wasn't here. So I had to kick the door down. And unfortunately I found him lying in the bath, and his breathing was laboured. And he had his arm like on the side, clutching the side of the bath. And he was just slumped lying in the bath. And I think he must have slowly slid down, because he's a big man, and I would have heard him fall over in the bath. And he wasn't responding. His eyes were open, but he wasn't responding. So I called 999, and it just seemed like an eternity, bless him. And they came, the nice ambulance crew, and because it's a tiny bathroom down a tiny passageway, and he's big, I can't remember if there was 2 or 4 people to get him out. So he was obviously admitted to hospital, and this was a crazy time in the morning. I can't even remember what time it was. And I followed him in my car in the ambulance, and I didn't know what was going on, and it was really scary. And he was lying there, and he was practically unconscious. And doctor took us aside in this room, and he said, your dad's had a very severe bleed on the brain. He's had a stroke. I didn't spot any of these signs. I think high blood pressure is one. And I know they say act fast, which is the facial paralysis. I can't say paralysis. Anyway, the face, where the face droops to one side and things. I hadn't seen any of these signs. And I said, could I have acted faster? And they said no. It was a really bad bleed on the brain. A really nasty, nasty stroke. And he was put on end-of-life care for a week. And all he was doing was just lying there, but he could hear me, so he'd squeeze my hand. I'd say, can you hear me? Can you squeeze my hand? And it was utterly horrible and frightening. And they didn't give him a drip when they should have done, because they misread the notes. So he didn't have any water for about, I think it was like a day, 2 days. And it wasn't until my friends sort of questioned it that they realised that he was meant to be on a drip. But yeah, basically they put him on end of life care, and I didn't know if he was going to pull through. And I had to go away. It was a really hard decision for me, but I had to go away at the time to Sardinia, and it was a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I asked my dad, I said, can you just squeeze my hand? Twice for yes, once for no. And he said yes. Wanted me to go to Sardinia because I would never get that opportunity again. It was just the worst timing. I still feel guilty about it, but I went. And I came back and Dad had regained consciousness, and I went into the Aptley ward at St Mary's on the island, and as soon as he saw me he burst into tears. They say that when you have a stroke, the first sort of year, 6 months is the crucial time for recovery, and if you don't recover, I might have got this wrong, so please excuse me if I have got some things wrong. Obviously this is a difficult video to make, but I need to make people aware of strokes. Those of you, what can I say? Just, what can I say, really? It's difficult. I just want to reach out again to people that may have been unfortunate to either suffer a stroke themselves or have a loved one have a stroke. And he didn't really recover. He's never recovered. It's 3 years later, and he is disabled down the right hand side. He's bedbound. He's doubly incontinent. He also has a thing which can be quite common amongst stroke victims, which is dysphasia, which means very limited speech. So although he can understand what you're saying, knows kind of what's going on, you can't have a full conversation with him. And I really miss that. It's like this very active, awesome person has gone to this, I don't know if a shell is the right word, because his personality is still there. He's still Dad, but he's not Dad. He's like a different Dad. And I miss his jokes, and I miss his sarcasm and his cheek, and it's very hard. And he can't be active with my daughter. Loves her, but he can't be active with her. And I think the moral of the story as well is slow down. It's taken me 3 years to do this video. Just slow down. Whatever you're doing, just slow down, because it's just not worth it. It's not worth it, because he was 67. That's quite young for a stroke. And now he doesn't have a quality of life. It's like with my mum. She didn't really have a quality of life towards the end. She was happy. She was never in distress, bless her heart. She was looked after. But because my dad wouldn't slow down, I can't help but feel if he had slowed down and not taken on so much, because he could afford to retire, he could have had that retirement he so deserved, this wouldn't have happened, or it wouldn't have been as at least major. Again, maybe I'm wrong, but what I'm saying is, don't overdo it, don't overwork, because it's just not worth it. Your health and your family are more important than overdoing it in a job. There's that fine line, there's that fine balance, and it's just not worth it. So now my dad is basically stuck in bed. He can't really take part in much. He can't drive. Oh, he can't work. Can't have a social life. He can't. He's reliant. He's basically reliant on everybody. He can't make a cup of tea, can't switch a light on, he can't get out of bed. And he's tried, and now it's to the point where he doesn't even sit up in his chair anymore. he has to be hoisted out of bed. There's no pediturn anymore. A pediturn is basically something that you stand on and it's turned by someone else, which helps you get from, say, a bed to a chair. So it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And he's now 70. And that's about it. There's not much else I can say. It's just completely changed his life. It's changed my life. When he had that stroke, it's like the sun went in. It was just horrible. Horrible. And I think the worst thing is not being able to do anything about it. Not being able to wave a magic wand and make him better. So there you have it. On a slightly lighter note, I don't know if you've seen my video about the baked bean bath challenge. If I'd got 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, I would sit in a bath of baked beans to raise some money for the Stroke Association. I will leave a link below for the Stroke Association as well. If you would like to donate, please, that would be super. If you don't, that's absolutely fine. We all have different charities we support, and you're under no obligation to do anything like that. What else can I say? Yeah, I very much doubt I'm going to get to 5,000 by the end of the year, or whatever, or 2,000, I can't remember what it was. I will leave a link to that video anyway if I try and remember at the end of this video. I'd like to say thank you for watching. I'm sorry that this was a bit of a difficult video, but as I said, this is what my channel's about. And share with anybody, comment, please don't judge. Again, as I said, difficult video. And I'd like to say thank you for watching, and also to, sending my love to the stroke survivors out there, and wish you all the best, basically. So that's about it now, so thank you for watching. Bye.